What up, guys? Today, I played Protoss against one of my subscribers who's Master Zerg. I had to fill in for the Protoss role because no Protosses were present for this PVZ that I wanted to do a free coaching lesson on. So basically now I'm just going to watch the replay from the Zerg's perspective. So it's basically just, we're still doing a Zerg vs Protoss lesson, but it's, yeah, it's from, I'm the Protoss. But don't mind that. Pretend like it's some random guy. It doesn't matter. Alright, so in Zerg vs Protoss, I feel like there's a couple things you need to really kind of pay attention to. And one is, you really need to pay attention to, is the Protoss going heavy on some tech, or is he going heavy on some gateways, or is he playing expansion normal, something like that. Protoss is the scariest race that all-ins in this whole game, in my opinion, just because of the fact that the warp-in mechanic of gateways warps in units across the map. It basically, whenever a building, or whenever a unit gets built, they're already building basically in the fight, more or less. It's like they have a very small travel time. So Protoss all-ins, because of that mechanic for that race, is you really need to be aware if they're going to all-in you or not, because of that mechanic alone. Whereas Zerg, you have to run across the map. Terran also has to run across the map. It's a little easier to defend all-ins because you have more time to react. You don't have a lot of time to react to a Protoss all-in. It's in your face like right away. Alright, so so far on Stay Cool, the Zerg player here, he's gone for a hatch and then a pool. I like it. It's the pool, instead of a, sometimes I go for third hatch, sometimes I go for a pool. The pool is definitely a safer route to go. And he's taking a third hatch anyways. I like it. This is like a safe macro play, basically. The one thing that I would change though about the way these overlords scouted, this first overlord is not that big of a deal, it's fine. But the second overlord, in my opinion, should not be going up the right around to the third. Instead, should be going up here to this part of the map. A lot of Protosses, I don't know if it's just me, but a lot of Protosses love to proxy, and they love to proxy right here. I swear it happens to me like in 1 out of every 5 games I play. Happens a lot. So yeah, I feel like scouting up here will really, you know, because the first overlord crosses this area, the second overlord could cross this area, and it eliminates all possibility of being proxied on this map. So I really like scouting this way with your second overlord, and you could send like the third overlord this direction, back behind the base. Or this could be even your first overlord going back here. But anyways, we see a chrono boosted gateway and a core already done. Now, right now, as Zerg, I would be thinking one thing. Okay, why are you chrono boosting your gateway and not the core? You're not chrono boosting warp gate. Okay, I guess he just really wants to get fast Stalker or Adept out. Maybe he wants a Stalker to kill my Overlord. This already, right now though, chrono boosting a gateway would make me think he's teching. I'm gonna pause it really fast, because I have a point to make here that's really important. That chrono boosted gateway already makes me think he wants to do one of two things. He either, A, wants to make really fast units to attack me with, or B, he wants to make a Stalker to deny my Overlord with. Either way, I feel like if it's going to either be a Stalker or an Adept. That's either unit it's going to be. And I feel like right now, if he's chrono boosting the gate, and he's not also chrono boosting his Nexus, he's not chrono boosting the core, what I would do as well is I would go look at the Nexus with my Overlord, and I would see if he's making a Mothership core. That's actually a big fucking tell as to what he's also doing. If you look at the Nexus, there's like this blue glow. I'll show you guys when I don't even make one the whole game. This is why. This is an important thing. There's a blue glow on top of the Nexus when you make a Mothership core, and there's not a blue glow when you don't. It's like just standard, but there's like this little hazy blue glow. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should go look at it. Like, I wish I could show you this game, but I don't end up making one. But it's important because if a Protoss skips a Mothership core, you have to be like, well, where is your gas going? Like, a Mothership core costs 100 gas, but why is he not making one? It's probably because he's making a very fast Stargate, or he's making a very fast Robo. He's making or he's making a very fast Twilight Council. He'd be going for Dark Templar or something. It's something tech, okay? So I would also have left the base with this Overlord. I would not have committed it, because I would think that could be a Stalker. But what I would have done with this Overlord, since it's already right here, I would have checked the Nexus. And yeah, seeing whether or not Protoss makes a Mothership core is a huge tell as to the eventual build. It's a tech rush, basically. And that's kind of scary. You need to be very active with scouting now. Now, this is a standard Nexus. This is just Chrono Boost. The blue glow looks like glitter or some shit coming off the Nexus on the sides, like over here and over here. But there's no Mothership Core being built in either Nexus, and now he scouts. I like that he's scouting with Overlords. This is good. He scouts for the natural, and he also scouts for the Stargate. He sees a couple more gateways going down, but he sees an Oracle in the Stargate. And now this is a huge thing you need to pay attention to as well. He sees an Oracle that just flew away, but he sees another one being built right now. Also, he doesn't have a Stalker. There's no Stalker in the base killing his Overlord, and there's also no Mothership Core driving out the Overlord. So right now, as Zerg, with scouting this, you should be thinking, okay, this guy might have made a Zealot. I don't think he's seen, or he actually has seen the Adepts, because his Zergling went up the ramp and saw the Adepts. So he knows I have Adepts, which are gas cheap. He knows I made Oracles, and I also have a Stargate already done, and it's being Chrono Boosted, which means I want to get that shit out quickly, because you can only dedicate your Chrono Boost to one building at a time per Nexus. But he doesn't see, like I said, he does not see a Stalker, which is more gas expensive than an Adept, and he does not see a Mothership Core flying around trying to like overcharge a pylon or to kill the Overlord or whatever. There's nothing contesting this Overlord. So what I would be thinking as Zerg right now is, okay, you got multiple gates going down, and you also haven't made anything gas expensive to deal with my Overlord. All I see is Adept and Oracle. I would be thinking immediately, okay, this is going to possibly be Adept Oracle build. And the big tell was he already saw one go out, and then he sees another one being built. He doesn't actually know there's three at this point, but he has seen one, and now the second one in the Stargate. So this is, I really like that he scouted this, but as a Zerg, as a reaction to this, what I would do, I don't know if I would rush a layer this fast. What I would do actually is you have to take Oracles very seriously. If they overpower a Queen at a base, it gets out of hand really fast. If I saw this, I would immediately start like another round of Queens at every hatchery. I like the fact that he started a Roach Warren, but I would honestly, I would stick on like one gas. And again, this is like a specific build, okay? So I'm going to do a lot of these coaching things. This is not every game of ZP. This is just a specific build. He scouted a lot of Oracles so far, the possibility of a lot of Oracles. And to deal with Oracles as Zerg, you do need to make extra Queens. You have to have extra Queens. Even against Void Rays, you kind of need extra Queens. The only thing you don't need extra Queens against is if this was like nothing but Phoenix. Then you could get away with like maybe one Queen per hatchery and one Creep Spreading Queen. And then you could make like 2 Spores per base to deal with the Phoenix to drive them out if the Protoss starts massing Phoenix. But yeah, against Void Ray or Oracle, like this fast, this is very fast. This is like the fastest possible Oracle you could really have. You really do need at least 1 Spore per base. I would say maybe go up to 2 again as well, and just make more Queens. You want to have more Queens, and you really need to get a Creep Tumor in your base to be mobile. Because what you can do against Oracles is you can overpower the Oracles with Transfuse and, you know, like 5 Queens. You can have like, if you had 6 Queens, you could grab all your Queens, but like if I hit the 3rd, you could grab all your Queens, but like the one in the natural or something, and then just overpower it. As soon as the Oracles leave, you bring one back to the main and transfuse or and inject and all that shit or whatever. But you need Queens, okay? That's the big thing here. You need to like think critically about what's coming at you and prepare for it before it happens. Oracles damage gets out of hand so quickly, so fast. But on the other hand, disregarding the Oracles, talk about something else now. He did scout more gateways. I kind of wish he left an Overlord in my base for this, because again, there was nothing even contesting the Overlord. If you're a Zerg player and nothing is contesting your Overlord in your opponent's base, just one Overlord, okay? Honestly, just leave it in there. Just leave the Overlord in there and keep scouting everything I'm doing. My whole build could be revealed if there's nothing that's going to kill this Overlord. And there are some people who play like this. This does happen. It's not like this is a never kind of happen scenario. Some people do builds like this. Even with Terran as well, when they go like Mass Reaper, why don't you just, you know, leave your Overlord in their base for a little bit when they're going Mass Reapers? Even though they can make a Marine, they can. I could make a Stalker too. But if you scout like, oh, okay, he's going for command centers now, where he's done with the Reapers, really. Or, oh, look, 4 more barracks just went down. It really, like, it's worth your investment to lose one Overlord to see if he's going for, like, a massive all-in or not. But I do like the addition of Roaches. he did get Zergling speed. To really deal with Adept, I feel like you only need like somewhere between 6 and 8 roaches. And that's enough, that's good. Because they're going to be slow roaches, these Adepts get here so quickly. You want to have like 6 to 8 roaches and then mass Speedling. The reason why is because 6 to 8 roaches can kill an Adept in 2 shots. Which is very quickly, you will thin out the Adept count very fast. Dude, I'm making a VOD right now. One second. You'll kill the Adepts really fast with 6 to 8 roaches. But like you want to make sure the Adepts don't just like run away and kite you and shit like that, which is where Speedlings come in, especially on creep. The Zerglings just get on top of all the Adepts. You surround, you kill everything. The Zergling's primary goal is just hold the Adepts in place. And on top of that, if you follow the shades or whatever they are, when the Adepts phase out like this right here, if there's a group of Speedlings following these Adepts right now, when they finally port in, if you're still underneath them, all the Adepts spawn surrounded, more or less. It doesn't always happen perfectly with every surround, but the Zerglings will get in between Adepts and get good surface area and get good surrounds, and then the Adepts die really quickly. So, one of the mistakes with this build is there's too much gas and there's not enough mineral usage. Too much gas means obviously you're going to have a gas bank, and it's going to really hinder the amount of queens or maybe spores you could have. And also Zerglings. I feel like Zerglings should have been used here. And if you don't prepare for the build correctly, obviously everyone knows against like something like Protoss, it gets out of hand really fast and you could lose the game right away. Now going from this point, he's retained some drones, but look at already the drone count here to the probe count. It's 40 probes to 25 drones. That's obviously never a position you really want to be in as Zerg. You always, like, it would be good if it was the other way around. If it was 40 drones to 25 probes. But it's because you kind of, like, you really have to be very aware of Protoss. You have to be aware of, like, what their build is capable of. So again, I would have loved to see if the Overlords stayed in the base and then just periodically glance and be like, wow, you're still making oracles. You're still making oracles. You're still making oracles. Because, like, these roaches should not ever be moving out against this. The Zerg honestly should identify, okay, you're all-inning me. All I gotta do is cost-efficiently defend. And then as soon as I cost-efficiently defend off of 3 base saturation, you'll have thrown so many units at me that it gives me opportunity to do, like, a counterattack and overpower you. That's what should happen in this kind of a game. You should never feel obligated to attack a Protoss after you've lost a lot of drones. You should always try to just, you know, be defensive and absorb Protoss. In 99 out of 100 cases, generally that's what you should do. You should just always be on the defensive and secure a good drone count. So right now with Stay Cool, what he's seen a lot. He's seen the fact that I have a lot of oracles, and he's also seen the fact that I have a lot of adepts. I do like the fact that he's got roaches to deal with the adepts. At this point in the game, when I have this many adepts, you actually do need this many roaches. Once the adept count gets over like 20, you need roaches for sure. But the only problem with the way this game is developed is, as Zerg, when you've made this many roaches, you really need full 3 base saturation. And he's not there, obviously, because he took a lot of damage from the first pressure. But he's missing 2 drones in the natural, on the gas. I don't really care about the gas missing drones. He should honestly be mining minerals over gas anyways, right now. But I'm just counting the drones here. He's missing 2 here. He's missing 7 here, so we're up to 9 drones missing so far. And he's missing 21 drones here. So he's missing 30 drones overall that he actually needed before he really made a big roach count like this. Because against like an adept style Protoss, like I said before, you can get away with like 6 to 8 roaches, and you can easily make 6 to 8 roaches off of like 1 gas, okay? And then you can make speedlings that assist your roaches that really deal with the adepts in small numbers, which will allow you to saturate your bases very fast. It'll also allow you to have excess minerals to make more spores, make more queens to deal with things like the oracles with. And then once you're fully saturated, you have like an amazing economy. Then you're like, all right, now it's time to go into roach production, because this guy I'm playing, this Protoss, is going mass adept. So that's where this game kind of went wrong for Zerg so far. But now the adepts come in, they jump on the spore crawler, and now here comes 6 oracles. 6 oracles do insane damage. As you can see, these roaches are just like melting to the oracle's attack. They do 15 damage every 0.61 seconds. They shoot as fast as like a Marine, but they do 15 damage instead of 6. A Marine does 6, which is why I'm relating to a Marine here. So these oracles are just wrecking roaches left and right. But these oracles can't really get a lot done. Let's just say hypothetically, one more time. There was a good mineral count, and at this base, when he first got attacked, let's say there was like 2 spores and like 5 queens waiting to engage him. There could be, you know, a few transfuses going on. 5 queens and 2 spores could overpower 1 oracle at a time pretty quickly. 5 queens can knock out an oracle in like 3 shots, especially if a spore crawler is helping do damage. And then if there's no oracles, the oracles are the real units here that are dealing the damage. Adepts are just kind of like in there. They do damage. They like adepts are like the Protoss versions, the Protoss's version of mass roaches. They're only good if you can overwhelm your opponent, but they're really shit when you have equal supply or less supply, and your opponent has like something better. It's the same logic as massing roaches for Zerg. It only wins when you overwhelm. So these oracles are making the adepts overwhelm the roaches because the adepts are bursting down the roaches so quickly. And then yeah, now and once the adepts start doing this kind of stuff where they get around all over the place, it starts getting out of hand really fast. No Zerg ever wants to be in a position where, you know, you're getting adepts, you're having to run all your drones because you're not really mining any minerals anymore at that point. Yeah, it's just not, it's a lose-lose scenario for Zerg. Because you know that the Protoss is mining like happily back at home the whole time while you're just missing mining. Yeah, that's pretty much. This game's pretty much gonna, you know, end here pretty soon. But that's pretty much the whole point here. This is just one all-in a Protoss can do, and I wanted to make it. I wanted to do this style against my Zerg player here because I want Zergs to think about like, you know, think about StarCraft, or maybe just think about the game overall more critically. And like I said before, the big things you should be looking for when you play the game are definitely you want to like really analyze the Protoss early on. You want to really analyze the Protoss early on with what they're possibly going to be doing. Okay. And again, the big thing that not a lot of Zergs pay attention to is you need to scout the Protoss's base early on, if you can, early on, with either a Zergling or an Overlord, and you want to see things that look standard. Okay, if you scout with a Zergling and you see, oh, there's an Adept and a Mothership Core, that gives you so much information. Whereas if you see, oh, there's an Adept and there's no Mothership Core, or there's a Stalker and there's nothing else, there's only one gateway and a Stalker, and that's it. Like, all these things tell you so much different facts about Protoss. The less gas investment that Protoss has into units right away, like Stalkers, Sentries, Adepts, or the less resource investment they have in units, the more likely the Protoss is doing something like setting up for a mid-game timing, or getting ready to go into like a very fast third base. And then again, that tells you those two options get determined whether or not you see like, oh, he's got 3 gas, or oh, he's got 1 gas. If I was rocking like 1 gas over here and my main, no gas in my natural, and I just had like 1 gateway, there's a good chance I might be like taking a third very fast and being very greedy or something like that. Like, all these things, you gotta try and think about where are the Protoss's resources going, and like what's he doing with them. Because Protoss is, like I said before in the very beginning, Protoss is the one race where their all-ins can go from like nothing to full on in about like 1 second, because of the fact that all these gateways right here, all these gateways, which is 4 gates in my main, can spawn units right here with 2 more gates, which is 6 gates. I can spawn 6 gateway production worth of units at a time right outside your base as Protoss. You got to be very careful about stuff like that. So, like, scouting Protoss is, I would say, the most important race of all 3 races to really try and get a glimpse into what they're doing right away. Because a lot of Protosses, again, will pick their build from the beginning by things like, did they make a Mothership Core? If they did make a Mothership Core, there's a good chance they're going to be defensive. If they skip a Mothership Core, there's a good chance they're rushing one of 3 things. A Twilight Council, could be for Blink, could be for Adepts with speed, could be for Blink, Adepts of Speed, or Dark Templars, or even High Templars, fuck, who knows. It could be for a Robo, or it could be for a Stargate. It's something tech. Yeah. Things like that. You should always be aware of scouting. And, yeah. And then you try to, like, determine the best possible build. Again, the last thing I'll say, just to give you guys one recap, because I feel like I'm throwing shitloads of information out. If you scout your opponent's going for Adept Oracle, something like this, best way to deal with it, get gas, get speed. Stay Cool did end up getting speed, but then he went for 4 gases altogether, and he went for roaches, and only had 3 queens and 3 spores. You can stay on 1 gas and stay on hatchery attack until the first attack comes at you, because a lot of times Protoss will attack you with like 3 or 4 oracles all at once with Adepts. All you need to defend that is 2 queens per base, at least 1 spore per base, possibly 2. If you feel like you're going to be, if you feel a little nervous and the attack is going to possibly fuck you up, make 2 spores per base. But if you feel like you're going to hold with 3 queens and you feel like you're confident in the micro, make at least 1 spore per base. And then make like 8 roaches and just make mass speedlings until you deal with the attack. Like if he's attacking you, keep making those lings until you know that, okay, he's cleaned up and attack over. Then you can go back to fully saturating safely, and then you can go into something like a 3-base full saturation roach style, something after that. That's how you should deal with this particular strategy. Alright, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully this was insightful, at least a little bit. Thank you for watching, guys. This will be the end of the VOD. I'll try to do some more specific games like this. I won't always do like this specific strategy for Protoss, but I want to do like specific styles where people should be like, oh, this is how you can identify that this is the style that you're fighting against. All that kind of stuff. Alright, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.